Welcome to the 1847 show. I'm your host, Prince Larmin Jarvo. And on this show, we highlight the ingenuity of Liberians in and out of Liberia by sharing their successes, challenges, entrepreneur endeavors, and much more with the intent to inspire other upcoming changemakers. Ever since we share your flyer on social media, we've gained about, roughly over 10 followers. What does that mean to you? Having people that are not only following you and that are inspired by you, but are also able to take action and and track the things that you're doing. What does that mean to you?
Well, that means that there are people who are watching from a distance. There are people who care about the works and the impact that we are trying to make in our community. So it means that I need to be vigilant as I'm engaged into this social work.
Of course. And sometimes when people say you have eyes watching you, it's not always a bad thing, right? It's a good thing sometimes. And I think this case is a perfect example. You said your affiliation with Yali has helped you kind of learn or adapt to the ethical style of leadership, which I was explaining that is very different from how leaders in the past have led our nation to how the current generation of change makers are leading. Why do you think that's important for us as the current generation to lead with ethics?
It reduces the issue of conflict among young people if you lead ethically. It reduces the issue of wars and violence among young people. If you lead ethically, it promotes development within community. It promotes the upliftment of organizations.
I definitely agree when it comes to development. I think we would have been able to advance at a much faster pace if our leaders
Mhm.
led with ethics, if our leader led with ethical leadership in the sense that they were going to be able to manage our resources more properly, be good stewards of our nation resources. So I definitely believe that
Yeah.
ethical leadership does not only benefits us and speaks to our character, but it also benefits the people we work with, and most significantly, our nation. So, very good points here.
Sure.
Thank you for sharing those. When we talk about career options in Liberia, the first few that comes to mind are doctor, lawyer, nurse, and maybe a
Yeah.
teacher. How has your organization been able to help the young people think further than those fields, but think for themselves and don't think about doing jobs that the society has told them is the best for them, but thinking beyond that and trying to be more than those four categories of jobs in the society that are the most common? How has your organization expanded and opened the minds of these young people in that regard?
Thank you. So, in terms of opening the minds of young people, we have a guidelines of over 5 careers that we make mention of during our events. And that is going to enable students to think out of the box, that I'm not limited to a career based on my family line. I'm not limited to a career based on peer pressure. So they have options to identify careers that are different from just the ordinary career that they see around them. Also, there are practical examples of people who have explored careers other than the medical or educational field that we bring together during this event, share their personal and professional stories with these students. So they identify the challenges during the share of these stories. They are able to see beyond being an educator or just a classroom teacher or a doctor. So with these personal stories that are being shared, real life experience with the exposure of hundreds of careers to students, they are able to think out of the box.
Your organization has 14 program areas, that kind of are derivatives of your four pillars, right? So, and you have launched several programs in 2022, including the anti-drugs awareness and counseling, secondary career development program, and like you said, the International Youth Day Symposium. How does your
Yes.
organization sustain these programs from one program to another?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And There's just one straight jacket answer to this whenever someone asks me. So, Lift Africans, the only resources that our organization have access to are the volunteers who sacrifice their time, their energy, and their finances to enable us implement most of these programs. Though there have been smaller grants in, like the grant for Project Change, but we have actually been able to sustain our programs using the available resources at our volunteers.
You also established a business called Dominion Technologies, which is a for-profit business. What social problems are you helping to solve with the establishment of Dominion Technologies?
Basically, there are at least three social problems that this business is seeking to solve. One is the issue of computer illiteracy among young people in Liberia. So, Dominion Technologies Incorporated is involved with empowering young people with information technology skills. Another is young people to um, fully funded trainings and scholarships that are out of the country. So we provide consultancy for providing guidance to applicants who want to apply for varieties of scholarships. And we are also deeply involved with professional writing. We also provide assistance and consultancy for individuals who want to do their thesis, who want to do research work, and the funding from this business sometimes shift towards Lift Africa, where we are able to, fund some of our programs.
So in November of 2021, your book, Unforgotten August, was approved by the Ministry of Education for printing and recommended as a supplemental reading material for students. What obligated you to write such a compelling story?
Unforgotten August was actually manuscripted years before the Ebola pandemic. And actually, when the COVID-19 pandemic outbroke, I was thinking about how, as a young person, I can be able to create awareness about this pandemic, how I able to use my creative writing skills to inform people that these kinds of pandemic do exist, and when they actually occur, we need to take precautionary measures. So, in order to create awareness against the pandemic, I decided to put together that piece called Unforgotten August, and it was challenging, but I had to go into it with personal finance, investing time and energy, and finally I got it launched in August 2021.
So tell us, being an author who has published a book that is being approved by the Ministry of Education, what are some advice or pieces of advice would you give to a young person who is aspiring to be an author themselves?
What I want to tell emerging writers is to forget about the profit making and focus on the impact of the work.
People in Liberia, where can they get your book from?
Individuals who intend to purchase Unforgotten August can either call me or send an email, and I can be reached at 0770 867648, or either my email address mccaflakes at gmail.com.